For the most part, one of the hardest things about this is trying to create the authenticity and kind of that flair that my mom brings to like the original dish. So, better nail this.
So I got this cookbook, one of our trips to Mexico, and it's a big book, and it has these colored pictures of all the dishes in them. And I just love cookbooks with pictures. So in here, it has a recipe for a quesadilla filling with using the chorizo. So I thought, well, maybe I could make a meatloaf using chorizo.
Everyone, I'm here with all the ingredients to my meatloaf, and I'm going to go over them with you. So first, you need some ground pork. Doesn't really matter like what consistency, just as long as it's ground. Some hamburger, preferably like 80-20 works in terms of like leanness, but 85% works pretty well. Then you have the chorizo, which is the kind of wild card amongst the ingredients. And then you have some chili sauce for a little bit of a kick, onions, green peppers, some ground black pepper, parsley, sea salt, garlic, and breadcrumbs. And this is all going to turn into a very delicious treat. Okay. All right, and I almost forgot the eggs, but that is the final ingredient.
One thing that I think really helps with this dish is the ground beef. We get our ground beef from my son-in-law who has a farm and they raise cattle. And so the beef is awesome. There's hardly any fat or grease in it. It just cooks so great. And since it doesn't have any fat, it mixes well with that chorizo because the chorizo is more of a fatty kind of a meat. So getting that really, really good quality of ground beef helps a lot with this meatloaf.
The first step in actually like preparing the dish is you have to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The second step is taking your pan or whatever, and you're gonna want to spray some cooking spray into the pan so it doesn't stick. So now we're gonna get to actually mixing the ingredients. So our first ingredient to mix is the ground beef. I'm just gonna dump that in. It's 1 pound of ground beef. Then you're gonna do half a pound of ground pork. So in our case, with this kind of a container, it's just gonna be half of it. All right, then your next ingredient is gonna be 1/2 cup of green bell pepper, and you're just gonna like chop that up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it into fourths, and I'm gonna put it in this neat Pampered Chef thingy. Oh man, it's stuck. Oh, sweet, it's working. Sweet. Cup, your half cup measuring thing. And you're gonna put it in here. And as you can see, we have like a lot of the pepper left over, so I'm just gonna save that for later. And so you take this, and you dump it in with the rest of your ingredients, and that is the green pepper form. So you're gonna cut the onion, or I guess in my case, what's left of the onion into fourths, and then you're just gonna chop. That's a weird look. Oh, whoa. Okay, sweet. So we're almost going blind from the onion stench, but so we have our garlic next, and what we're gonna take for that is a garlic press, and you just put the clove in, and the recipe calls for 2 cloves, so this is 1, and you just squish it out. It all just shoots out. Then take out the clove, and that's 1 out. Oh wow! You take the second one, stuff that in. Oh man! All right. Then you just squeeze. Oh my gosh! Oh, there we go. Okay. 2 garlic cloves, check. Calls for 2 tablespoons of parsley. So what we're gonna do is take our little tablespoon thingy, then carefully ease it through, and that is 1 tablespoon. So your next ingredient is gonna be 2 large eggs. So you're just gonna crack it open. Woo. Okay, 1 egg. 2 egg. All right, and the next ingredient is a teaspoon of salt, which we're going to throw in there, which is my fault.
Okay, that
And
works.
so for our last ingredient, of course, is going to be the chorizo. So you just squirt that in. It looks really gross, but it is extremely tasty. Oh my gosh. This feels so disgusting. You're supposed to hand mix it because that's how Mom does it, I think. Okay, so then you're just supposed to get everything all mixed up together. This is the most unattractive meal to make, I think, ever. So we're just going to take this. I'm going to stack it all in. You want to pack it all pretty tight because you want it to be really crispy when it's in the oven. So now here's where the chili sauce comes in play. So we're going to have half a cup of chili sauce and you pour it on top. And it's kind of what the meatloaf kind of bastes in instead of like ketchup or barbecue sauce or whatnot. All right, so our meatloaf is now ready to cook, and we're gonna put it in the oven on 350 for 1.5 hours. Oh my gosh! Ow! So an hour and a half has passed, and we're gonna take out the meatloaf just to see if it's done. And voila! Now we're gonna have my mom taste test it just to see what she thinks, if I did a good job or not. What's the initial consensus?
Almost tastes like I made it.
I think one of the coolest things about this kind of a project is you never realize how much culture is in it. As like Hispanic culture has influenced my family and just kind of like from traveling over the years. Even though we're a predominantly Irish American family, we still have a Hispanic dish that we've grown to like all love. And I think it's something so interesting about American food and just like the culture in general and how we can take seemingly foreign foods and turn it to something just like into a traditional meal, into something hearty, into something good. And I just think that's one of the coolest parts about this project.